Hi everyone, I'm Melissa, and that's Mrs. Beasley in the background there chewing on her ball, and we are thinking positive. So today I'm going to do my most requested video by far. I've gotten so many comments and questions about this, not only on my last video, but on my blog about it, and that is my camper renovation. So it has been 9 months since I did all of the renovations last spring, and then over the summer, Danny and I did a 2-month road trip. By the way, click here if you want to go follow that road trip. And click here if you want to look at my first video of my camper renovation, because that probably would be a good idea to watch before this, because it'll give you some context of what I did and what the renovation looked like right after I finished, and some of the things that I've changed now. So let's get started. So the first thing that regrettably did not work at all, broke my heart because I loved it so much, and that was my accent wallpaper. You can see in my last video I had this really cool wallpaper in the corner of my dinette on this really plain wall that looked like weathered barnwood. I thought it was super cool, but it would not stay up. So yeah, here is my accent wall, formerly accent wall, that I have now just painted white. And you know, I kind of like it. I still kind of like it just white. It used to be that barnwood wallpaper, and I like it just fine the way that it is. I used to have a fruit basket hanging in that corner while we were camping, and it was still nice. It still served a good purpose. The adhesive subway tile in my kitchen has been the death of me. Absolutely, positively the worst part of my renovation. I have tried everything. It's not like the wallpaper where I can just take it down and paint over it. No. I have tried all these different epoxies. I have so much glue on the wall, and it will not stick. It still won't stick to this day. After I did all this research and tried all these glues, it will not stick. So, you know, I just come in and I squish the little peeling corners back onto the wall, and they stay on for about 6 hours, and then they just peel right back off. So I haven't found a solution to it yet. So if any of y'all have a great solution, that'd be great. It is the same exact brand as my peel and stick adhesive tile in the bathroom up here, which, hi guys, has had no peeling whatsoever. Not a single peel. Never had any complications with this tile, and it is gorgeous, and I think it looks even more like real tile than the stuff in the kitchen. So if you're gonna do a tile, use this one. All the freaking paint on the walls. I'm not saying that all the paint on the walls of my entire camper was a complete failure, but I am kicking myself because I picked a satin finish. I was like, oh, normally I use eggshell finish for my paint in my normal house, but this is a camper, so it's gonna get dirtier, and I wanna be able to clean it much more easily and have it last longer. So I was like, oh, I'll go one step closer to like a gloss or semi-gloss, and that's satin. Well, the satin was not that much better than eggshell, and I wish I had gone to Beasley. I wish I had gone to a gloss or a semi-gloss. So, yeah. And so it was really hard to sand right up against it, so I just put primer there, and it all peels really easily. Same with down here. It's really hard to get the sander right up against that bottom edge, so I primed everything and sanded everything. I thought the primer would take care of the parts that were, hard for the sander to reach, but it didn't. Everything just scraped off super easily where I couldn't sand really well. And that's just really frustrating. Like, look right above the fridge, all that. I used this primer that I had done research on that a lot of other camper renovation people have said was the best primer ever, and it really wasn't. Like the places where it didn't even stick. on the cabinets. And so I wish I had just used that really nice Kiehl's oil-based primer that I use in the shower in my whole camper. My poor dinette. My poor little booth covers. Ugh. I took the easy way out. I originally thought I was going to sew all of them. Beasley's rolling her ball around now. I originally thought I was going to sew all of them and do the right thing, like make them removable covers that could be washed. But I ran out of time and I got really frustrated, and y'all, it is so difficult to sew covers for camper cushions. Maybe it's just me, but I think they're really difficult. Yeah, this is how they turned out. I love my dinette so much, and I'm so sad that during a major olive oil spill on the road, we somehow got some oil stains on the fabric, and I did this fabric by stapling it to a piece of really thin plywood. So it didn't take me that long, and obviously it won't take me that long to just take this off and redo it, but I do wish that I had just went ahead and done the right thing and sewn removable cushions, because I got really nice fabric that was, you know, able to stand up to the test of time, and so then I got some stains on it that won't come out, and now I have to like completely redo the fabric for next time. So it's just kind of wasteful, and I wish I had just done the right thing the first time around. Yeah, so the bathroom floor tile. This was not the tile's fault, this was kind of my fault. So in the middle of our trip, I had olive oil that we used for cooking in one of the kitchen cabinets up top, and we must have hit a bump and the cabinets came open, even though they're really tight and they don't usually come open. And the bottle of olive oil spilled all over the entire camper. And it kind of seeped underneath the bathroom tiles, and they've been totally fine up until maybe a month ago. So this is like 6 months after the trip. I finally noticed they're just barely starting to peel at the edges, because when I came in to vacuum, the vacuum kept catching on the ends, like on the edges of the tiles. They're starting to peel up, and I think it's because of that oil. Learned my lesson to keep the olive oil in a lower cabinet and get a spill-proof bottle. I don't know. What did work? This is my favorite part of the video, because it's things that did work and I can talk about how much I love them. So the paint and primer in the shower were the best idea ever. I wish I would have done that for my entire camper. I used this really, really heavy-duty Kiehl's oil-based primer for in the shower, and then I painted over that with really high-gloss paint. So no water would obviously get in. That was my goal. Well, I should have done that for the whole camper, because it stayed so well, and that primer, when I was putting it on, man, you could feel it. It was sticking. As soon as you put it on, it was like glue. All right, the tub is kind of dirty, so don't mind that, because it's really cold and I don't want to come out here and clean all the time. But the paint and primer in my shower has held up beautifully, and I love it, and it sticks so well, and I wish I had used this for the rest of the entire camper paint. Contact paper on my dinette and on my fridge, I'll show you, has been amazing. I didn't think it would look good, but it looks really good, and it stayed, and I've spilled multiple things on them, and both of the contact paper surfaces have remained pristine, and I love them, and it was really cheap, so highly recommend this contact paper. The silver spray paint on the faucets was such a good idea. They look a bajillion times better, and they work, and they haven't peeled or anything, so highly recommend doing that if you're interested, especially if your camper came like mine with these ugly like white plastic colored ones. Like, who wants white plastic colored faucet heads? Pet steps, oh my gosh, these were essential, because the bed takes up like so much room in my camper, and if we were out on a hike that didn't allow dogs and we left Beasley in here with Gary, if she jumped off the bed, she would have like the kitchen floor pretty much to lay on, and she couldn't see out the windows. And so the pet steps allowed her to, even if we were gone, be able to climb up onto the bed. And Gary used them too. Sometimes we had to get rid of the pet steps when Gary got in his moods where he would run up the pet steps, climb on over us, and then jump off the bed. And do that over and over. And he tended to do that when we were trying to take a nap. So that was one instance where we wish we didn't have the pet steps, but almost every other instance, we loved having the pet steps in the camper. And if you are traveling with pets, they are a must-have, for sure. The stenciled mandalas, I love them. They're just a nice little touch, and I think they make it more unique, and I'm really glad that I did that. Overall, there are a lot of things that did work with my camper. I didn't even mention all of them, but most of the things that I did really did work. The few things that didn't work were really frustrating, but really they were pretty minimal in the grand scheme of things, and I'm really glad that I did the renovation that I did. I felt like I was in my own little hotel room that I was toting across the country. You know, we never had to unpack and pack back up and move different hotels and everything, so the animals were always comfortable in here, and Gary had his own little space under the dinette that I showed you last time, where he had his heat lamp and his light, so it was just perfect. You know, we had a full shower and bath. Gary got a bath almost every day of the trip, and it was honestly one of the best times of my life. So I am very happy with my renovation still after 9 months and thousands of miles on the road. I think it's done really well, and we've kind of adapted and changed a few things here and there, but yeah, learn from my mistakes. But honestly, just go ahead and do it. If you're thinking about doing it and you're putting it off because you want to do all this research and make it really perfect, just go out and do it. Buy the things that I have on my list in my blog post that I'm linking below, and don't buy the things that I have in the blog post that say I don't want you to buy because they didn't work, and just go out and do it. It was one of the best decisions I ever made. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see any more videos about a positive lifestyle and animals and veterinary medicine and travel and camper renovations and DIY projects, pretty much everything. I love everything. So yeah, give me a subscribe if you feel like you like this channel. And I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.